Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our special guest today, my friend Maribel Dionisio. Woohoo!
Hello! Good morning, Rose, and good afternoon or good evening sa mga nakikinig or nanonood wherever they are. Nako, worldwide, ha? And
Mm-mm.
lalo na doon sa mga tatay at nanay, yung mga mag-asawa, sana hindi sila nag-aaway masyado na. Marami nag-away during the pandemic eh. At lalo na yung mga naghahanap pa ng one true love or are preparing
Yes.
for marriage. Yes.
Tama, tama. Ang galing, ano? Kasi sabi nga, yung binanggit mo nung nag-away ng husto dahil dito sa lockdown. Sabi nga nila, you either got closer or mas
Yes.
lalo kayo nagkainisan, di ba?
Oo. So kung good ang marriage niyo before the pandemic was good for you kasi marunong kayo makipagsama, makipagbagay. Pero kung may problema na before the pandemic at nagbibingi-bingihan kayo, ay lumala na siya during the pandemic kasi wala nang takasan sa bahay.
Totoo yan. Na-exaggerate, no? Na-exaggerate kung ano man yon.
Napadali at lumaki. Parang
Yes,
balloon yun.
yes.
Biglang, woo!
Oo nga eh.
Oo.
So, Maribel, kasi ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon, di ba, dun sa article ko kasi was the financial aspect, ano? Ngayon, yung mga
Yes.
non-financial aspect. But since the show is Money Lessons with FQMom, we always ask our guests to start by sharing with us their childhood money memory. Pwede mo ba kaming konting share naman ito?
Yung money memory, nako. Yan ang isang issue ko noon. Kasi malaki yung pamilya namin. I come from a family of 8. So resources were rationed. Laging naka-budget. And my father is a banker. So talagang, but my mom really had to stretch. And the word she said often, na naiinis ako, ay yung salitang simple. Simple lang tayo. Ayokong simple.
Gusto ko bongga.
Gusto ko bongga. Kaya sabi ko, pag nag-asawa ako, kailangan bongga ang buhay ko. And then this is the irony of life. I married a guy who could be bongga but is very simple. Alan is very simple. So,
that's better.
And that's what we say, yung sa buhay mag-asawa, yung issue mo ng childhood, you come face to face with it in marriage.
Totoo
Because
yan.
your partner na inaasahan natin na aalis, di ba, tatanggalin na niya yung pagkasimple, siya rin nagsasabi simple at nagtatrabaho siya sa PGH forever. O di lalo na yung mga, just di ba?
Yeah, the irony of life talaga, no?
So I had to go through a lot of seminars and counseling, both of us. Parang, paano tayo makarating doon sa common ground na pareho tayo masaya? Di ba? Hindi na kasing simple ng noon, hindi naman kasing bongga, pero there's a mid-range na na-discover namin over time.
Oo, that would make you both happy and in a good place, no?
Right.
Alam mo, meron akong naalala dun sa isang talk mo na na-attendan ko. You said something like this, that as a young girl, you had stage fright, no? And you, sabi mo parang, I only wanted naman to be married, have a good family. Pwede mo kaming kwentuhan tungkol dito, how you blossomed into one of the most sought after speakers na in the country.
Yeah, wow, we have a very fantastic memory, Rose. I was a really shy girl. Up to now naman, I'm not really parang the one who will talk. Unless you ask me to talk about marriage and parenting, I will talk. Otherwise, I will keep quiet. I was very young. I was low self-worth din ako noon. Like many have that. I never received an honor card in my life.
Okay.
Pero masipag ako. Di ba?
Yes.
Sabi ko sa sarili ko, hindi na ako masyadong marunong, hindi pa ako maganda. So I thought of myself as hindi maganda at saka hindi matalino, pero matulungin ako, naging matulungin. Parang as a child, I found a way how to help or how to be special.
Useful. Oh, okay.
And useful. So I was known to be the matulungin na Maribel yung buong madla, parang recognize that made me feel good. That helped me come out of
Yeah.
my shell somehow. And but at age 18, I started my counseling nako about this issue of talino at ganda. Grabe, matagal na proseso. Pero buti na lang naayos ko, call myself a wounded healer, which is an issue of many about self-worth, about our childhood hurts and pains, which is very important for a marriage to really flourish. We have to fix our individual issues. And do not blame your partner always. It's not naman always about your partner. It's also
Correct,
about
correct. Yes. So, ang ganda, no? It's about us. It's about how we grew up. But,
yes.
ako kasi sinasabi ko, may expiry yung blaming your childhood eh. I've told this to my sons. Una nga, sabi ko, 24. Stop blaming childhood at the age of 24. Maybe because I got married at age 24. But because of my studying on behavioral economics, alam mo yun sa
Yes.
prefrontal
Right.
cortex,
Right.
the prefrontal cortex, our rational brain, is fully developed at age 25. So,
25.
sabi ko, ayan na yan. Ito na. I showed a checklist on financial, parang financial checklist before getting married. Before you say the magic words, the most binding words, I do. So, Maribel, baka meron kang counterpart on the other aspects. Paano ba gumawa ng checklist o ano ba yung mga ititik natin na kung halimbawa kayo yung couple na nagkakaseryosohan na before you even consider getting married?
As a couple thinking of marriage, you have to go through these 10 topics thoroughly.
Yes.
To be able to deepen and get to know the other person para maiwasan natin yung mga problema. So yung una,
Okay hindi first date ha, masyashock. Masyashock naman yung ano mo, dinedate mo kung first date pa lang, lalabasan mo na. Hindi po, pag medyo nagkakaseryosohan na kayo. Okay.
i-memorize mo, isipin mo sa first date kung alin dyan ang pwede nang pag-usapan kasi iba.
Meron ng points. Okay, that's good.
Pwede. Pero ito, yung una, number 1 is love authentic? Totoo ba siya? Or fake news? Or is it just infatuation? Sabi nga natin, love kasi has 3 stages. Kung ipakita natin yung next slide. Has 3 stages. The first year is usually everything is perfect and great about each other. There are 3 stages of love eh. And that's why the second year, dyan yung madalas nag-aaway na. The reality sets in. You get this illusion. Ay, maganda nga siya, pero grabe, 2 oras pala mag-ayos yan. Cute siya, pero naku, late pala lagi. Di ba? Yung mga ganon. So, you will know if you're truly in love. Generally, it takes about 3 years. Yan ang sinasabi ng mga eksperto.
Oh, okay.
3 years boyfriend, girlfriend before marriage para you go through the stage of romantic stage, everything is beautiful. Then friendship before the boyfriend, girlfriend.
Exactly.
Kung talagang ginagamit na at na pag-usapan tong mga bagay-bagay na to. Okay?
Nakikilala na namin na isa't isa.
Kaya yung unang tinatanong ko sa marami ngayon, kasi marami ngayon mga 1 taon lang, 6 months lang, lalo na if they're 30, 35, ay matanda na ako. So okay na ang 6 months. Sabi ko, no, please. It's not that easy to adjust to somebody in 6 months. Kailangan kaibigan mo siya. Friendship of 3 years is really very helpful when you get to the difficulties in a marriage. Otherwise, you'll have to pull out your emotional maturity factor pag nag-away kayo. Okay, number 2, are our core values compatible? Because we come from 2 different families. But there are some things that cannot let go. And therefore, we have to talk about values, about communication. How do we talk? Do we talk during mealtime or quiet yan? Money, yan, yung favorite mo, money is very important talaga na pag-usapan. And then career. Will I work? Will I stay at home? Combination. How about in-laws? How do we visit them? Do we live with them? Sex.
How
diba?
often?
Our stories and expectations about it. Children, parenting. And then our spirituality. And what is it? Is your expectation about our love life, our married love life. So there are assessments that couples can answer to check whether they are similar or different in these areas. Now, kung different, then can you negotiate? Which ones can you adjust to? It doesn't mean naman na hindi kayo compatible, but there are areas that might be a source of tension later on, but if you're mindful, okay lang. I would encourage the young people, kaya nga kailangan isulat mo ano yung importante sa'yo. What are your non-negotiables? What are the qualifications? The values, the interests.
Yes.
And then, gumawa ka na ng Excel file ng candidate number 1, 2, 3,
Correct.
4, 5, 6. Di ba? And
May matrix.
kailangan. And then, you will get the one who is closest to your qualification. Kasi ikaw yun eh. You are entitled to that. Sabi nila mataas ang standards. Sabi ko, alam mo, it's not about mataas or mababang standards. What are your standards? Because
Yes.
you know
I like that.
what will make you happy.
Yeah,
Alright?
hindi sa taas o baba ng standards. It is
Hindi.
your own standards. Yes,
And kung
good.
wala
Next.
kang mahanap, huwag kang pipilit. Nako. Huwag mong pipilitin. Next, the number 3, are we both emotionally mature? Nako. This is the number 1 reason for many separations and problems. Kailangan both. Hindi pwede yung isa lang tapos makikibangko ka, you will ride along.
Ano yun? Magulang yung isa, di ba? Kung isa lang ang mature, magulang at anak ang relationship.
Oo, hindi pwede yun.
Hindi pwede. Okay.
Hindi, even if there's a 10-year age gap or 20 age gap, both have to be emotionally mature. Kundi mag-aalaga ka ng parang bata. Diba?
Totoo. Malungkot yun.
And maturity is, even if you're both emotionally mature, that is a very good predictor of how you will handle mga crisis. Kasi later on in life, you can adjust, you can be flexible, at saka siguro wala ka na masyadong mga childhood issues na ayos mo na. Kaya kailangan ayusin yung mga childhood issues before marriage. Kasi yan ang dadagdag talaga sa problema sa mag-asawa. Do you know how to fight constructively? So Alan and I have talk the art of fighting, part 1.
The rules of engagement.
Yes. Basically, how to listen properly, how to talk, and when there is a disagreement, how to come up with an agreement. Number 5, yan, yung attitudes about money. Is it complementary? Though I would normally encourage couples to work towards a one basket phenomenon, that the couple put their money together. I don't know if you encourage them, but I've seen in many couples kasi pagka
is yours is yours.
Oo. And you know, somebody will lose his job or her job later
Correct.
on. So you have to really work on together, so there's no issue. Plus, each one gets a allowance or her money or his money that's assigned for whatever you want to buy. No questions asked. Your freedom money. Next, are we sexually responsible?
Okay.
So the issue here about what are our values about sex before marriage, during marriage, but you know, the enjoyment of our sexual life is connected to numbers 1 to 5. Pag maayos lahat yon, sex life becomes a lot better, especially if it's communication.
Wow.
Especially for the women. It's connected eh. For the men, they usually can separate that, but real good men, they want their wife or their partner also to be happy. So,
I have a question here.
Yes.
Ganda eh. Ang nakalagay kasi sa number 6, are we sexually responsible? Normally kasi what we would read is, are we sexually compatible? And parang that one presupposes we have to test so that we know we are compatible, di ba? Ano masasabi mo doon?
Testing is not needed. I-test mo doon sa numbers 1 to 5. Pag okay ang answer mo dan, you'll be very good. Yeah. I mean, the sexual problems, if you talk about the physiology, are very few. And even if there are problems, and you still love the person, hindi mo naman biglang iiwanan yan eh. Diba? Hindi mo naman iiwanan yan eh. It's only in cases where yung mga 6 months lang yan, they had fun, tapos nagkaroon ng problema sa sex, ay ayoko na. Di you married for sex? Because we don't marry for sex. But sex is icing on the cake. Right?
What do you think now of live-in situation? For example, you have a couple who are consulting with you, pagsasabihin nila na we want to make sure because our experiences from our own parents, they're not compatible and it was hell. So, isn't it better if we try to live in muna? Yan ulit, ano? To test. Anong masasabi mo dyan?
ang live-in, kung magli-live-in kayo, dapat 3 years na kayo boyfriend-girlfriend. Kasi,
Okay.
to increase the chances that your live-in experience is really going to be helpful. Kasi ang live-in ng after 6 months, hindi kayo magkakilala.
Honeymoon.
You don't know each other. You can
Oo.
present, I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pero iba yung may karanasan that you have really been with each other.
Mhm.
And the live-in, the problem with the live-in, you will discuss menu planning, you'll discuss cleaning the house, the roles of each other. Alam mo, it it robs you of the opportunity to have that romantic stage in full force, which you need
Hmm.
to have. So don't
Mm.
deprive yourself of that romantic period. Maski na alam mo maikli lang yan, but because that will fuel you to be able to handle the difficult times. So sabi
Yeah,
ko, 3 years
agree ako
boyfriend,
diyan.
girlfriend before you live in. Kung yung last part, gusto mo i-test what you know about your partner is there. But then I will ask
Mhm.
you again, why live in? What
Mhm.
for? You
Mhm.
can, if you want to see your partner, di pumunta ka sa bahay niya ng 5 a.m. at umalis ka ng bahay niya ng 10 p.m. Di ba? Makikita, marami ka nang makikita doon without having to handle the domestic chores.
Isingit ko 'to, may question from our audience,
Ah,
168. What
ah.
is your take on prenuptial agreement?
Prenuptial, I am okay, or generally those that really need it are in cases where the family of the wife, of the bride is more well off than the guy. So that I tell the guy, para wala nang sasabihin na pinakasalan mo siya dahil sa pera niya. Okay? But society somehow, if the guy is more well off than the girl, okay lang. Pero kung gusto mo
Uh-huh.
ng prenup, di mag-prenup ka rin. But prenup,
Uh-huh.
usually I encourage it only for those who are getting into a second marriage or third marriage because there's so
Kasi
many
may
complications.
dependents, oo, may mga
But for the
complication.
first marriage, I don't eh. Parang, why? What's your reason? You tell me what's your reason. If you're saying,
Mhm.
para kung maghiwalay, tatanungin ko, ba't mo inisip na yung hiwalay? Parang hindi ka sa partner mo, huwag ka na mag-aasawa.
But I think what you're saying, Maribel, is that essentially the reason why our constitution provides the absolute community of property, that's the standard agreement, no? If we say I do without executing a prenup, is that the family is the basic unit of society. So parang
Correct.
ang hirap, 'di ba? Kung basic unit, parang kumbaga yan yung pinaka ano mo, pinakamaliit mong
Foundation, yeah.
particle, paghihiwalay mo hindi iisa yung magiging direksyon. Parang gano'n, ako
Totoo.
yun yung parang tingin ko
At
do'n.
saka
That
parang
is the reason.
there's a, depending on the reason, there's a question about trust. And trust
Mhm.
is very important, an important foundation here for the couple. So,
Yeah.
as long as it's not going to hopefully touch the trust issue or become a trust issue for the other partner, then
Mm.
okay, go with that. But I will focus more on getting to know the person. Do we have the same values? Do we have
Yeah.
the same interests? Do we enjoy
Mm.
each other? Kaysa yung prenup ang pinag-isipan natin kasi but we have to talk about money definitely. Seven, are our
Naisingit kasi number
spiritualities compatible? You know,
ayun.
a spirituality of sorts is really important. Alam ko marami na ngayon mga atheists, but you know
Mm.
there are many atheists but they're not aware they have a certain spirituality. What is it but
Exactly.
what is it ba that we are encouraging? Sana man merong compassion kasi a spiritual life encourages being compassionate, being humble, at saka yung
Kindness,
at
yeah.
saka yung forgiveness. Nako.
Yes. Naku, kailangan yan. Marami ka dapat baon na forgiveness 'pag ikakasal ka.
Sige, sabihin mo atheist ka, but can you be forgiving? Kasi that is a
Yes.
very important activity for marriage.
Mm.
At ang hugot natin dyan is our spiritual life. Because
Mm.
our
Is it
partner,
ano, what is your experience sa mga couples that you see having problems? Is that always a problem 'pag, yung mga kunyari yung religion nila magkaiba?
yung religion magkaiba, yes, can pose another problem. But if they have a spirituality that they've talked about beforehand that can
Mhm.
be there, it's not religion per se. It's
Mm.
really how they carry out things and their expectation related to other areas. that are
Oo.
important, di ba?
Okay, punta tayo sa number 8. Magandang usapan din 'to, controversial din ito.
Nako,
8.
yan, future mother-in-law ka. Are we
Oo.
aware of boundaries with our parents and in-laws, or even boundaries with our friends and
Yes. Ay,
our
totoo yan,
interests
ano?
or hobbies, boundaries with anything yan, in general yan. So that we are protecting our marriage and protecting our partner and ourselves.
Mm.
So do not live with parents and in-laws hanggat maaari. And have your own space, even a one bedroom na muna,
Correct.
even for,
Yes.
kasi iba yung you're alone, the fun, you can go out as often as you want to. And but I have a story lang. So we were on our own, pero weekends we see my parents and in-laws, nagkukwento ako. Aba, kumisan pati yung kwento, ang daming nasasabi. Sabi ko kay Alan, buwasan ko ate yung kwento. Kasi nakita ko, labas tayo ng labas eh. Baka
Oo.
mami, so even if you do not live with them, there are some
Yeah.
stories that you have to put a limit to.
Filter. Oo,
Uh,
may filter ka din pala. Okay.
kailangan din yon.
Sige.
And then, do we agree on husband and wife roles? And then so who will do the cooking, the dishwashing? You have to talk about that in the beginning also, whether you have additional household help or not, kasi pinag-aawayan yan.
Number 10 na tayo for the
Yes.
last in our
Do we
checklist.
agree on our couple and family vision? So we asked the couple to write parang all the things that they want to see happen in their marriage, so that expectations are on the table. And there
Correct.
is more opportunity really for fun and joy. And to carry out all these 10 in marriage preparation sessions, mga ano to, 2 to 3 weekends. Lalo na itong emotional maturity, it takes
Oo.
sometimes
Totoo.
1 weekend, if not 2 weekends, to work on our childhood issues before marriage.
Yun. So, screenshot nyo na to, the 10 points. Ito yung pinaka-checklist ninyo to know kung handa ka na ba, game ka na ba, ready ka na bang ikasal. Ano yung mga usual problems encountered by Filipino couples? Married. O sige, wag na nating i-limit sa Filipino. Our usual problems ng married couples.
Actually, those 10 issues, the 10 items we wrote down, are the 10 issues also.
Na
If they do
pinagkaka-
not talk, if they do not talk about money, then they fight about it. They say yung magastos or their attitudes about money are different. Or
Yeah.
if they don't talk about their family of origin influences that they want to keep or they want to practice, when we fight, we should just keep quiet, not talking, and then forget it, because that's what I learned from my family of origin. So you bring in all of these things into your marriage, and it can be one of the 10 can be
Yun yung
trigger, or there's about 2 or 3 of that will be your regular source of conflict.
Yes.
And we can predict that before marriage if we sit down with them, kasi when we look at their family of origin and their expectations, we can already help them. So how to negotiate already and come up with his style, her style, or you come up with a new formula for the both of you. Okay?
Oo. Meron yung kasabihan na kung ano daw yung nakyukyutan ka at natutuwa ka nung nagliligawan pa kayo, later on yun na daw yung kaiinisan mo.
Yes, because you get an overdose of that. You can get an overdose. Kunyari, madaldal siya. Pero napakadaldal pala. Walang tigil. O kaya, ang ganda-ganda niya, pero naku, grabe ang gastos.
Diba? So you watch out, yeah, di ba, no? Pagka,
our asset, if we don't watch out for our asset, it can become the liability also. So balance really is the challenge talaga for all of us. Pero kung pag-uusapan natin, Han, huwag mo ako masyadong strictuhan dito kasi I did not have much of it. If you express your needs, the unmet needs in your childhood, and tell your partner, I want this to be experienced over time. Hindi naman kaagad. Then, that's why we say the marriage can be a healing can be a healing opportunity for each one. Kasi if we allow each one to have what they did not have, within certain limits that it allows.
So, kung halimbawa, you're talking to a lovey-dovey couple right now, ano? Na para bang baka pwede na, baka ano. Ano yung parang pinakagusto mong sabihing mensahe sa kanila?
Oh, lovey-dovey kayo ba? Dahil keep your daily kisses and holding hands, your weekly couple date, kayong dalawa lang, walang anak, and then love making twice a week.
Oh. Twice a week? May prescription si doktora.
Magagalit si Margie Home sa akin, pero sabi ko sa kanya, kailangan bigyan natin ng number tong mga taon to kasi, of course, she can talk about it. But I read it in a book, twice a week generally is good over time. Yung mga newlyweds,
Siyempre, madalas yun.
Mas madalas yun. If they, especially those who said no to premarital sex, mas madalas yun and talagang the excitement is there. And then join a couple support group that will educate you both in the relational, not just spiritual aspect. We need to gain information about that. Then of course, yung healing of your childhood hurts and pain. Naku, in the first 2 years of marriage, if you didn't do it yet, work on it. Kasi hahabulin kayo nan. I have many couples that are about 10 years married. They ask me always, Maribel, pwede ako lang muna? Wala muna yung asawa ko.
Pwede ba yun?
Pwede. Kasi it shows that yung individual issues and lumalabas, yung kanyang childhood talagang kumakatok matagal na pero hindi niya pinakinggan. So now they want to address because, di ba, how much of Marvin is like your father?
You marry your mother, you marry your father, sabi nga nila.
Yes. In the good way and in the bad way. The good way,
correct.
No problem. But the negative, parang, what is this? Di ba? So we have to work on our issues. It's an opportunity for us to grow here. So you keep that conversation going. That's why they're lovey-dovey. They have common interests. Look for continually common interests and common friends. That's the other area of conflict of many couples. He goes out with his friends, she goes out with her friends. Kanya-kanya it can polarize the marriage over time without you intending to. So, but if you have, together with your kanya-kanyang friends, a couple support group, then that will keep cement, yes.
Thank you, Maribel. It's always great to have a chat with you. Next time, face-to-face tayo.
Yes.
Maraming salamat. Bye!
Bye. Thank you.